So the goal is to get multiple different levels, so it has a nice kind of cascading look to it. Last time I used 3 pool noodles, I'm using 4 this time, so I'm hoping to get a couple, just make it a little bigger. I'm just going to use a simple razor blade. It helps to have like a brand new, really sharp blade, so I put one of those in. And I'm just going to lay it out, and then as I cut them, I'll measure them against each other. I know my other one is about 26 inches tall, so I'm going to start there. Again, right about there. Trying to keep them as level as possible, but you know, the bottoms are probably the ones that I'm going to use anyway. So there's my first cut. So I know that I have these 2, so I want one a little bit shorter than that. So I think the second one is going to be, I'm going to go 24 and 22. Maybe a little bit more. I'll try that. Again, I'm trying to keep these as level as possible, but it's not perfect. Be careful here with your fingers as you're cutting through. Now you can see what I got here. And again, most of the time, I'm not going exact measurements. I'm just looking at them against each other. So yeah, so now, you know, if you line up the one end, you can see I got a couple different levels already. That's great. So I don't really need to go probably any higher than this. I'm going to start to go a little shorter every time. I'm going to switch this side. Line up these ends. I think I'm going to try and just step this down. Again, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So I'm going to try that. See where that puts this guy. This guy's actually pretty long. I could maybe have him be even at the top. Step another one down. You probably could measure it all out, but I think, you know, I'm just going by the eyeballing it. And again, you want the flat bottoms to be level. This one down also. And this guy's even shorter. Short one. Right here. Let's see what that does. So now I got my shortest. Move this guy out. And then we'll just see where this one ends up. Oh, it's almost the same height. So, not perfect, but you can see the idea. I'll probably cut the top of this one off just a little bit so it steps down about the same amount. So I have my lengths all cut, again about stepping down around the same. And there's 2 ways to do the next part. There's the slow way that I did it last time. You just use, again, the X-Acto, the box cutter, and you can just, again, eyeball. I have 1.5 inch tea lights that will be going into each one of these like this. So you kind of eyeball it, and again, it doesn't have to be super exact, and you just look at it from the top. Cut it around in a circle as best you can. Again, none of this has to be perfect. Okay, and then you can just, so I go around that way, and then the other way you can kind of cut from the inside, like like this. And then really you can pull that out. Again, it's a little bit rough, but you don't need it to be perfect. You just need it to fit. And again, I would probably cut a little bit more out of here. And you just pull it out with your fingers. It looks like that. And really, you just need it to fit the candle in. Okay? Not perfect, not exact, but it fits, it works, it's gonna look good. The other method is to use a hole saw, which I haven't tried, but I'm gonna try this time. So you get one of your hole saws that you think will match your tea light, and then you just drill it in, which I'm gonna try now. See how that goes. All right, so these hole saw kits, they're great for drilling holes. We've got some bigger ones that we use for recessed lights. They're also great when you're drilling any kind of hole into, a desk or, just something you need it to be perfectly round. So I've already set this up. The other thing that I would recommend whenever you're going for depth anything, you're drilling anything, you need the depth to be pretty accurate. Just put a piece of tape. I've used just some painter's tape on the drill to make sure you're going exactly the right depth. I just kind of checked it against the depth of the tea light, and that should help me. So I've never done this before. I'm gonna use this bag to catch all the debris, but I hope it goes well. We'll see. Not going so hot. Let me try from the top. Hard it is, harder than I thought it would be. Okay. Not as good as I thought it would be. It's not strong enough. All right, turn it up a little. Oh. Oh, that's working a lot better. Okay, I like that. I'm also trying to make sure that I'm drilling in the cut edge so that when I set it down on the ground, these pre-cut edges from the factory are flatter and it'll sit flatter. But the technique is to kind of stick it in a little bit and then just give it a little slight twist, and then it kind of gets it exactly where you need it, and then you're good. I think I'm still gonna have to cut out the insides with the box cutter X-Acto, but this is going pretty quick. So the verdict, definitely trading accuracy for speed. So we'll see how it looks at the end product, but definitely went a lot faster on the... Let's cut out the insides now. See how long this takes. Hopefully not too long. So I'm done. You can tell there's a little bit of a mess, but it went really quick. I would definitely recommend not having it all the way out. I would tell you to go a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 clicks back from all the way out, and just run it around the inside once and just pull the inside out, and it made really quick work of that. So maybe 3 minutes. When you have finished with the hot glue and you like the way the drips look, and you let it dry for a little bit, you just go back through and look for any kind of little wispies, like this guy. Just trying to pull off all the little wisps from when you pull away the glue gun. A good example of some close-up wisps that I pulled off. When you are done and you're happy with the way it looks, use some rubber bands to put these together, and then I'm going to glue them in place. I'll start with the 5 main ones. I'm going to try and get these to all touch. Okay, like this. That's what we want, so that each is contacting the others. So I'm going to try and glue that in place first, and then go from there. Okay, so now that I've got the base done, I can just start adding them on as I see fit to continue to build the shape. Let it sit for a little bit with the rubber band, holding everything in place.